guys? Welcome back to another episode of Passing the Torch with your man Samuel Eugene and Barbara Osar Salon. Before we get started today, make sure you hit that like and subscribe button. Today we're talking a little boxing, man. Age-old debate. Muhammad Ali, Mike Tyson, the Battle of the Titans, the Clash of the Titans.
Clash of the Titans, baby. Yeah. I feel like a lot of people find themselves, if you're a big boxing fan, everybody finds himself in this debate eventually, one way or another.
One-sided. Everyone
exactly.
is pretty stick to their side.
I like both fighters. I'm a fan of both of them. But I'm picking Ali. He did a lot of good things, especially for the community and, for the times that he was going through and he was coming up being a boxer, in the 60s and everything like that. We were still fighting segregation and equal rights and all that. So he stood for other things other than just, he was just trying to go out there and get some fucking knockouts. But yeah, he was a big cat, 6'3", 78-inch reach, which is like... That's ridiculous right
Crazy,
there.
Though. We do got some heavyweights, like Beyonce.
Yeah. Well, nowadays, but you know what I'm saying.
6'11".
But back then, at that time, for a guy to be as quick as he was and as big as he was and as fast as he was like Jesus.
Ali was on another level.
Yeah, his footwork. Come on. But he was a goat of trash talking. I mean, best person hands down of getting underneath your skin.
I'm pretty sure he invented trash talking. Did anyone talk trash before Muhammad Ali?
To be honest,
if they did, they didn't.
If they did, it wasn't as good. It wasn't nowhere on his level. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he had a hell of a career too. I mean, 56 total wins and only 5 losses. 37 of those wins were knockouts. That's a hell of a career, and to kind of go into it, I know one of the things that you're gonna use. His very first loss that he ever had was against Joe Frazier, right?
Similar build to Mike Tyson, similar fighting style.
But let's also remember that in '66, Muhammad Ali, he dodged the draft. He didn't want to do all that. He said, he had a good reason.
He missed
had
3
his
years of his prime. Yeah, that I do give Ali, and he did fight Frazier. I'm pretty sure he came back. He was suspended from 1967 to 1970, and then he comes back, has a tune-up fight, and then 71, I'm pretty sure he fights Frazier.
Yeah, 71 fights Frazier. It goes 15 rounds, fight of the century.
I'm telling you, man, we just got ESPN Plus. You got to go watch that fight. They got all the old classic fights on ESPN Plus, and we recently watched that one. And today, you just don't see heavyweights move like that. Me, I'm a huge Deontay Wilder fan.
Yeah.
Man, I'll tell you, bro, he does not have the pure skill and raw talent that we can't call it raw talent. It was just talent.
Yeah.
That Muhammad Ali possessed.
Yeah. Some of the other reasons, why I picked him is he was listed, as the 20th century's greatest fighter ever. You know what I'm saying? So amongst and this is also he was the greatest athlete amongst all sports in the 20th century. Only boxer to be a 3-time world champion at the time. Hell of a feat, hell of a thing to be able to do. I mean, he was fighter of the year 6 times, in that little run that he had until, unfortunately, they didn't let him get his license back. But I feel like, he lost to Joe Frazier, but that's a hell of a person to lose to, though. Let's not even... Joe Frazier ain't no Muhammad Ali or Mike Tyson... But Joe Frazier's Joe Frazier. He still had a nice little bout for himself.
Ali does come back and beat Frazier twice.
He does.
But my point is, Bob, I completely and totally respect Muhammad Ali. I got him right up here on my wall, man. I do think some of the nostalgia around him does come from all the social activism and what he did for the community. As a white dude, I could never understand the struggle of the black community, especially at that time in the 60s and 70s.
Yeah.
But I appreciate everything the man did. But when we're just talking boxing and raw talent, Ali has a lot of accolades. I think when you go accolade for accolade, Ali probably has more than Tyson.
He does.
But when it comes to the eye test, which I think is something, it means something. When you just see the ferocious and veracity of Mike Tyson, the head movement, and then he's just snapping on you.
Yeah.
It's something we have literally never seen before, and I don't think it could ever be duplicated. It wasn't like that before him. It wasn't duplicated after him. And the reason I always bring up Joe Frazier is because I think they had a similar fighting style. They had a similar build. Joe Frazier was a little shorter. Mike Tyson's only about 5'10". He only had about a 71-inch reach. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Nothing spectacular, but he was so compact and so explosive. He could just explode on guys and move. People talk about Ali's speed and how he's keeping you away with the jab. You know what I mean? But Mike's whole game is bob and weave. Get under that jab, get through you, get close to you. And I think if Joe Frazier can get close to Ali and put a licking on him, I think Mike Tyson is right there. Is right there, man. And just like Ali, Mike lost out on a couple years of his prime.
He did. Yeah.
The little prison stint he did.
Yeah.
I think that definitely it troubled him mentally and spiritually. You know, Mike is a real spiritual guy. He's a very emotional guy, and
we know today.
I don't say that in a bad way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But Mike is an emotional person, and I just think all the drama with his ex-wife and the accusations and
everything
going to
leading
prison,
up to it. Yeah.
Exactly. It was too much for him to handle. The type of life that Mike led, he never had anyone to develop him, to really work with him. You know what I mean? He converted to Islam like Muhammad Ali, but you know what I mean?
Is that a trend? Great fighters? I mean, Khabib too? Is that a trend going on?
Muslim champions.
You know what I'm saying? But no, you know, hey, look, I don't take anything away from Tyson. He's a hell of a fighter too. I just feel like and it's my personal opinion. Like that's what this video is for, and that's what this talk is about. Is you know we want to hear your sides. We want to hear your points. We're not able to cover every single detail and thing, but just me. I mean, Muhammad Ali, man. Just think if he would have gotten those 3-4 years back, right? Okay, and he was able to keep it going, I feel like maybe he wouldn't have went out the way he did, because he kind of went out a little washed up. And I say that still picking him.
Well,
the most of his fights that he lost were at the end. I mean, other than the Frazier one, every other fight was after 73. Like, so
I don't hold that against Ali though, because when the greats, when we're talking about the Alis, the Tysons, the Michael Jordans, they never want to give it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
How can you be just on top of the world like that, at the top of your game, and then just look in the mirror one day and say, you know what, I don't got it no more? They're not programmed like that. Guys like that, they don't think like that. You know what I mean, bro?
Exactly. Yeah.
And
it's hard to give it up.
Yeah, they just couldn't give it up, man. They couldn't give it up.
But I honestly, I mean, and they have similar win-loss record. I mean, Tyson.
Yeah, Tyson is at.
He won 50 wins, and he only has 6 losses and 2 no contests.
4 knockouts.
Yeah,
baby.
that
is crazy.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. I gotta give that.
I believe
to him.
19 of them were also in the first round.
Yeah, that's fucking ridiculous.
And when you go back and watch the footage, I've just been going back on ESPN Plus and YouTube and all sorts of, and just watching old Tyson fights. He was putting guys in body bags, man.
He was.
And I don't know, maybe I feel like it's a style thing too. It depends on really who you think a more exciting fight is. Do you want to see the guy who's just maybe, I don't want to say outclass you, but finesse?
Yeah.
Not that finesse isn't dangerous.
He's gonna play.
But
chess
Ali
with
is
you.
the finesse. Yeah.
He's gonna outmaneuver you. He's gonna outwork you in the sense of, hey, look, he's gonna run your ass down until about the 10th, 11th round. Yeah. Just start fucking going in on you. You know what I'm saying? Like guys like those, and we see boxers like that still to this day. I mean, Mayweather was a good one that we can put to. A lot of people don't like Mayweather because he's a strategic boxer. He's gonna wear you down.
Go.
And he's gonna play with you. He's gonna move. He's gonna tire you out, and he's gonna work his sizing and his feats to his advantage. And we can kind of see, where the start of that was. I also feel like with Muhammad Ali, because that was a big one. I mean, dude, a lot of his fights they weren't ended quick. I'll say that. You know what I'm saying? A lot of his fights went to decision. So that means that man had the stamina and the energy to be like, all right, bro, let's see who's gonna make it to the finish line first. And I respect that. Some people are like, oh, well, that's not the sport of boxing. You just got to go out there. They just want to see human cockfighting.
No, I totally understand the style and the strategy. But at the same time, that whole thing comes with your body and your style, that's a personal thing. Like Mike couldn't fight like Ali.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
And I feel like Ali couldn't have fought
you
like
fight to your
his
skill
size.
set.
Yeah,
You know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah.
You gotta train and fight and work to your skill set to get to a level like that. You know what I mean? And the best saying and the most true saying in fighting is styles make fights.
Yeah.
And I think when you put Mike's style against Ali's style, I think Mike overwhelms him and gets an early knockout.
Maybe.
Fourth or fifth round.
You know what?
Fourth or fifth round.
Let me just say this, and this is just from not being on a bias and looking at it from a different point of view. Maybe, dude, maybe Ali talks too much shit and brings out that killer, and Mike fucks him up. I don't know, but
and
there's always different ways that it could go. We'll never fucking know, unfortunately. I mean, the craziest thing is for me is that, they weren't too far, off from each other. The eras, you know what I'm saying? I mean, unfortunately, Ali, he retired 39 and 81, but, like, I feel like even if he still stuck around, I wouldn't want to see him fight. This is a prime. We're talking about Muhammad Ali in his prime versus Mike Tyson in his prime.
Mm-hmm.
And
22, 24-year-old Mike Tyson.
Yeah, I mean, bro, then again, bro, remember, he was 20 years old when he became the heavyweight champion of the world, right?
He was on a different level.
Time. Yeah,
he was on
crazy.
A different level.
20 years old, bro. The kid couldn't even fucking drink alcohol. Mm-hmm. He couldn't even go celebrate and drink alcohol. He couldn't. He was, snorting lines off their possessive. Do it,